Well, managed to get the right opening titles this week, so we'll count that as a victory.
Oh, caught me modelling. Oh. Sorry.
That's just so utterly clumsy. It's honestly,
that's not why we're here.
That's ITV2 levels of acting. That is. Oh, it's like, oh, didn't see you there. Didn't realise you were there.
Although, in fairness, I was modelling. So
you were actually doing some modelling. I know it's a shocking indictment for the show that that we are actually shoehorning more modelling into it.
Yeah, disgraceful.
Which will come as a real disappointment for people who do watch this.
Especially given it's been a surprisingly quiet week in terms of modelling news, hasn't it?
It has been a little bit on the a little bit on the quiet side.
It feels like it's normally the time of year when we're coming into sort of lots of reasonably major announcements, isn't it? And it seems to have September seems to be all a bit of a something and a nothing, leaving us no option but to get on and build models.
Or in my case, struggle to paint figures, which we won't talk about that tonight.
Yeah, I might go back to my original Wednesday comment.
Well, folks, I think I'm honestly now going. I've got them at a level, the faces and things. They are going to be. I promise. Tomorrow night you will see pictures. They're not going to be perfect, but they are going to be finished, and that's it. I mean, no fault of the kit. They are no fault of the kit. They are fabulous figures in that Tamiya Kettenkrad. They are utterly gorgeous sculpts. Really perfect in terms of injection molded plastic figures. The thing is, you want the paint job to do them justice, and I have just sucked utterly at doing them justice. So I only got 5 to do.
I bet you haven't. I bet you're just being overly picky about your own. I bet
I am. Yeah. Anyway, look, onto more familiar territory. Apple cider cake. Little apple cider cakes. You might notice one's missing.
That was a sampler, was it? Just to check.
It's like kitchen accident there. But if you look there, look at that. Yeah. So that's the baking element out of the way. I know some people tune in for the what do you do? I tune in on Sunday for that modelling show. Is it only go? Just watch it for the baking stuff about cakes and things.
Just as they talk about cakes.
Probably make more sense about cakes than we do models, quite frankly, chum.
Well, yeah, why not? Why not?
We probably get through more cakes during the year than we do models.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Anyway, how are you? What have you been up to this weekend?
Building models. I know, right? I just want to say it's been a running joke the last few weeks, but it's back on the bench.
Oh yes.
It's back on the bench. So, in terms of having my caught me modelling, you did actually catch me sanding one of the engine nacelle joins down just before we get into what is almost now the paint shop, because once I've sanded everything down I need to on the fuselage and washed it off, I'm going to add the tip of the nose glazing there, mask that all off, and then we're off to the paint shop. So progress on that. But the thing is, we know I got distracted last week and I started the Mosquito.
Yeah.
And we got to this stage with the Mosquito, and I've masked the canopy off, but I'm really not happy with the masking. So because it's just such a miserable and bad experience. So I actually went online and ordered a set of dedicated masks for it. And so I had to put it aside for a couple of days while I'm waiting for the dedicated masks to turn up. So while that was happening, I realised I hadn't built a Modelsvit Mirage for a while.
Oh, goodness sake.
So I picked up a Modelsvit Mirage 3 days ago, the 3B in this case. And this is where we are with the Modelsvit Mirage, which I think speaks volumes for a kit. People are always asking about limited run kits and how good a Modelsvit kits. Well, this has been 3 days. So I think that speaks volumes for the general quality of the kit these days, of Models Vit stuff these days, doesn't it?
Are they
so
limited run though, or are they?
They are strictly speaking. I think they are, because you still get stuff like etched metal and stuff with them. So they are at the very, very top end of limited run. So you sort of have to strike when they're released, or sort of 6 months down the line, you might find yourself struggling to find them. But I think that we're really on the cusp of sort of mainstream these days. So this is the Mirage. This is a twin-seater Mirage 3B, and it's going to be one of the. Funnily enough, I was talking about the Mirage 4 earlier this week on here. This is one of the Mirage 4 refueling trainers. So the Mirage 4 having a big refueling probe stuck out the nose cone, which is not a very intuitive place to have a refueling probe, really. So they modified some Mirage 3Bs with a sort of dummy probe on the nose, like so. So they could train pilots who were destined for the Mirage 4 force. Some of the twin-seat Jaguars had it as well. So I decided to model one of them, and that's a Master Models Mirage 4 probe cut down and let into the nose there, just to represent that. So that'll be a nice, interesting subject when it's done. That'll be my 4th Models Vit Mirage. So yeah, so like I say, that was squirrel number 3 essentially, and then back on the bench today. I've been doing a little bit more for my second my second Zvezda Hercules, which I got the wings all assembled today. Got a lot of sanding and rescribing done, and that's kind of moving on. Not a pace, but it's getting a little bit of love in between other stuff. Here's the tanks I made. You can see with a coat of primer on them. So as you can see, the panel detail on them is far more prominent than it is in the kit ones. So they'll get tidied up and used. And I'm also rescribing all the engine nacelles and stuff. Again, like we've said, like we previously discussed, I don't like the how shallow a lot of the detail is on Zvezda kits. So the engine nacelles, I've had to go over and currently working through. I've done 2 of the 4 and rescribe all the major detail to make it deeper, so it will show up under a wash. So as you can see, nothing is galloping towards sort of completion, but there's a lot of stuff on the bench. But the good thing is, it's all getting a look in, if you know what I mean. It's all there's nothing actually moribund on those 4.
Yeah, just rub it in. Why don't you? I mean, I can feel the passive aggressive kind of, the whole thing about me getting completely quagmired with these figures, that it stopped me doing anything other than trying to.
You just need to get on with it. You need to say enough's enough, and do a job which is still going to be better than most others out there, and then go back to it the next time with some new figures.
Yeah, and I got 5.
That might be the trick, actually, is just to you're getting stuck with figures that are, the actual figure, the sculpt and everything is really familiar to yourself now. So you're probably going round and round in circles a little bit. Perhaps a fresh set of sculpts might help.
Of course, not helped by on Friday night, sitting down having my supper and watching Martin Kovac's new video, in which for the 3rd set of figures he's ever painted he nails them perfectly first time, and I'm just
I haven't actually watched that video yet.
Rapidly going off Martin here now, really.
I must have another look at. I must go back and watch that video later on, because I haven't actually looked at that one yet. And he makes you look so easy, doesn't he?
The theory, I don't know, the risk of upsetting the figure modelers as well as the car modelers, is I understand the theory. I actually understand the whole process of using very thin glazes and using, actually you only have to use either 1 or 2 mixes of the same colors to lighten or darken to get a progression of gradient, and you do that with layers, thin translucent layers, and as each layer goes down, it either darkens or highlights, but you then reduce each subsequent layer in terms of volume, so the area covered, so that you're getting those gradients. I look at my Vallejo paint leaflets here where they've got figures painted on there. And they've got these beautiful transitions. I understand the theory, but then unfortunately, I'm working with this, and I'm working with these, and yeah, it's hard work. It's hard work. But no, honestly, Martin he's just an utter genius. He really is. I mean, it's an easy word to throw about, but when you just see how Martin just takes things on board and gets on with them and does it, it's like
freakishly good.
He's a phenomenal talent.
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal talent. Now, I'm just going to go off script here for a second. That's unusual. We got sent some pictures. There's a script. There is. It's got half of last week's show on it. So
yes.
We were sent some pictures from Colin Strachan at Freight Dog of some new sets that are in the works. It's for the Airfix Mozzie, which you mentioned just now, and he's doing a B16 B35 improvement set, which will feature bulge Bombay doors, anti-shimmy tailwheel, the missing petrol cooler, Monica aerials, and rear camera port. He's also doing a second set for the BXVI, for the B16. That's me as a kid doing that. Set to us for the B16 H2S conversion. This features the same parts except the camera port, and has the flat Bombay instrument panel and H2S added. I keep wanting to say HS2, but there you go. He says these should be on sale at the end of September, and he's going to send some to us, which is rather kind of him. So
excellent.
I get the feeling unless you're done with mosquitoes, we might try and get you building a mosquito.
I am never ever done with mosquitoes.
Yeah, as you can see in that picture there, there's the other bits for the.
I'm particularly interested in the HS2 conversion.
Yeah,
that would be really nice. And I wonder if I don't know if Mr. Strachan is watching at the moment. Any plans to do a cookie?
Just buy the weapon set and take it out of that.
I'm not buying a weapon set for one bomb.
You can use the other bombs on other things, and you get just support the industry, man. For goodness' sake. I'm surprised you haven't done one yourself.
I'm not afraid to support the industry. If Mr. Strachan does one, I'll buy one.
That's true. I'm surprised you haven't 3D'd one yourself. So
that's the next move, isn't it? That's the next move. If I gain no satisfaction from the aftermarket, I will. I'll do my own.
You know what? I've just suddenly realised I got a set of test shots for the for that weapon set. You can have the cookie out of that.
There you go. That was easy, wasn't it? Look, the Bombay's open. Look, it's ready. It's ready to receive cookies.
I was thinking the other day, though, looking at that mosquito, I thought, if only they do a Hornet next. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be. It would be. You know, it's anything de Havilland, really, isn't it? They could do a Hornet. They could do if they decide to do the Venom. I'll be.
I would be really massively pushing a Venom and a Sea Venom.
Yes.
In fact, this year, 2021 is a bit of it's a de Havilland heavy year.
Yes.
Because we've done that glorious little chipmunk. They've done the vampire. They've done the mosquito. I think in previous years we had. I think it was last year was Blenheim, Beaufort, and Beaufighter in various guises across the range. So funny how these things kind of.
I see Mr. Strachan there saying the mosquito stuff will have my name on it. Thank you very much, Mr. Strachan. I will be happy to feature them on here as I build them.
There we go. It will have your name, Drew. No cookie plans, but several more PR sets to follow. Well, like I say, you can have the cookie out of my.
That'll work.
Shots. There you go. That'll keep you happy. I'll send you the cookie, and I'll send you some cookies.
Oh,
there we go. And Luke Slaney Hewitt says, "Don't tempt me." Luke is actually the new R&D guy at Airfix. So we're throwing ideas at him here. Don't tempt me. No,
we're not trying to tempt you. We're telling you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Venoms.
Sea Venom. Actually, I think the Sea Venom's more interesting than
the
Venom.
I'd really like one of the single seat Venoms. I really like the single seat. I like all Venoms. I like all Venoms. It's the first jet my father worked on in the Fleet Air Arm, 809 Squadron Sea Venoms.
I just think Sea Venoms just look fabulous, especially Sea Venoms in Australian markings.
But I just think any Venom, the Swiss Venoms look great. The RAF ones.
Yeah.
RAF ones with Suez stripes, but the Swiss ones in that sort of faded camouflage and the slightly more pointed nose. What a great aircraft that was! What a great looking aeroplane.
I think what we should do is we should gather together kind of like a little thing of Venom schemes and variants and things, and then just mail it off to Hornby.
Yes. I'm fully behind that. And then obviously that will segue into a 72nd scale Sea Vixen.
Ian Goldstraw says Sea Hornet. Yeah, Sea Hornet. I prefer the Sea Hornet over the Hornet.
I would take again Hornets. Any kind of Hornet is good with me. Any kind of Hornet is good with me.
Sea Hornet I prefer for the simple reason it's got folded wings, and I love folded wings. You know me.
You're a freak. I mean, I love any kind of Hornet, as you know, except for Super Hornets.
And the trumpeter ones.
And trumpeter Hornets, yeah.
Your waste bin was grateful, though.
Yes, but at least I built it.
You did build it, and it was. And I think anybody who thinks, I think Spencer's told this story, but anybody who thinks that you kind of like you're always gratefully and massively enthusiastic about things that are sent to you for free, you weren't.
Yes, we Spencer and I had a full and frank discussion on that model, and agreed that I certainly wasn't going to review it as a build subject, because it was just I refused to waste my time on rubbish, essentially, and that model is rubbish. So as is their Defiant, as is their Whirlwind.
Actually, they're very good models.
They're great models. They're very good models. They're just doing that Hornet was great fun to build. It just didn't look like a Hornet. Which as far as I'm concerned leaves the way open for Hornets, Whirlwinds in any scale people choose.
Whirlwinds. Now we're talking. Talking.
I would really like to see Airfix return to the Whirlwind for
48 scale Whirlwind. You don't need me to say how utterly exciting that would be. Do you think we should get on with the script now, or?
I kind of like this off script kind of thing. Look, it works all right.
We've only got a couple of items tonight, so I think we may as well kind of wander in. Then we can just kind of like zone out and bring in some of the comments, because we've got some cracking comments tonight, and I could almost do a show entirely on the comments, but I think we need to. I think we need to do a thing tonight. So we're going to kick off tonight with this came out of the blue this week, and I literally kind of like fist pumped, because this is Das Werk, and they're doing a Raupenschlepper Ost RSO Type 40. We call it a Steyr tractor. I love this vehicle. I remember seeing this in the Airfix catalogue back in the late 70s, because it was one of the Max kits that were brought into the polybagged into the range, the 35th scale Max range from Japan. But the Steyr was never released by Airfix, and it kind of occasionally flirted with the Italeri range, but I could never find it in Beatties in Bristol or any of the other model shops. And it was only when it got to about 1990. I do remember coming back I had to cut a holiday short in Scotland because I was ill, and came back. And the next day I went into Bristol, and Beatties had the Italeri reissue of the Max Steyr RSO there, and it was $9.99, and I got one, built it, loved it. Not a very accurate kit, but it's a fabulous subject. And so Das Werk are doing a brand new kit, and this is a brand new kit because they put up some CAD renders of it. There has been a Dragon kit in recent years, but availability and the usual kind of Dragon foibles. So to have this is just joy, utter joy to me. As I say, it is a fabulous subject in terms of it's really kind of oddball.
It's literally a truck with tracks rather than wheels. It's literally a truck with tracks rather than wheels, isn't it?
It always that cab reminds me of that kind of Scamel Scarab. So it's, there are 6 schemes in the kit. They're all in overall sand, although one of them is actually kind of Eastern Front. So you can do, like that box art, you can do that kind of nice faded winter camo over the sand. But as far as I'm concerned, I am, yeah. I mean, I shall find which of our local suppliers can get one in. I think Froome will probably get it in fairly early, hopefully. So yeah, I shall be there handing over money, because there is just, yeah. I mean, that is pretty much, that's all my weathering ideas in one on that box art there. And like I say, it's a fabulously interesting subject. The open kind of what do you call it? The back of the truck, the back bit, the bed at the back. It just gives you all kinds of opportunities to fill it up with, with goodies from the spares box, or even accessory sets, which we'll come to in a bit later on the show. And it's also just one of those things where you can try all kinds of weathering ideas at it. This one, you literally can hide it with mud. But yeah, I am really, really, really. That's
now you know my antipathy towards World War II German stuff, yawn, and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
I'm in the market for that. I really like that.
There we go.
I really like that. It's such a great looking. When you catch it from those low angles where you can really see the tracks and stuff, it suddenly looks like, yeah, that's a great looking vehicle. And at least one of those, the most complicated camouflage scheme on that of those 6, really appeals to me.
Mm-hmm. Surprisingly, I'm really surprised that none of the mainstream manufacturers have touched this in 48 scale, as far as I know at the moment. I'm talking mainstream.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think they have. Certainly.
And it hasn't been touched in 72nd scale, apart from Plastic Soldier Company. They do one, but because this is more going towards the war gamers, they do them with just completely solid cabs.
Yeah.
So, which is understandable, and that's the market they're aiming for. So it's a fabulously versatile vehicle, which has been, certainly not done in the smaller scales.
I think I'm right in saying that a lot of Das Werks stuff is done by Com as well. So you're pretty much sort of assured of the quality, if you like.
I would not be surprised if further down the line they also do the square cab version as well. But no, that's fabulous. I am
I'm in the market for that. I'm in the
market for that as well. So any of our favorite retailers out there, that's 2 definite orders you've got for that. So yes,
I really like that. I really do.
Yeah. Talking of things that we really...
it takes a lot to interest me in something from German World War II, doesn't it?
Unless it's Porsche turreted King Tigers.
Yes, I do like Porsche turreted King Tigers, I have to say.
There we go. Right.
I'm not terribly interested in outside of that, but that. Yes, please.
Yes, please. Yep, there we go. We're in agreement there. That's a rare thing on this show.
Yes, right. Violent agreement.
Next. This is one which I know you're particularly looking forward to.
Yes, it's just the information is starting to sort of come out from ICM with their Bronco range, and I think I'm right in saying this is the first planned release, which is the OV10D or D Plus, which is the later version of the Bronco, as you can see, with the extended nose and the FLIR turret. Not a Nogs Bronco.
Oh, right. Okay. I put Nogs on the...
No.
Okay.
Nogs was the initial trial. It stood for Night Observation and Gunship System. And it had that nose on it with a sensor, but it lacked the sponsons and had an M197 20mm cannon in the on the center line in a turret. Okay. And that's that really pretty 3-tone grey scheme trials aircraft, which wouldn't be terribly difficult for the likes of Freight Dog or something like that to offer a back conversion to that aircraft. These are the ones that you'll have seen in US Marine Service in either overall green or the 3-tone green, grey, black scheme, or some of the desert schemes from Desert Storm. I mean, this is the start of a range of Broncos from ICM. We can't really say enough good things about ICM these days, can we? You just know that these days, an announcement that ICM are doing a kit is just a, well, take my money. I'll Mr. Hills can send me one of these sight unseen. As soon as he gets one, I want him to send me one. End of discussion. It's just a fantastic aeroplane, isn't it? So when you add the fact that we've had a Pucara this year and now we're getting a Bronco, it's a good year for the counterinsurgency business, isn't it?
I tell you what, I noticed looking at these appear to be CAD renders.
Yes.
But looking at the CAD renders, it does appear they have gone to town with the surface detail on this.
Yes, it does look like it's heavily riveted, doesn't it? Which is which is great. But the thing is, the Bronco is a very complicated, because that twin boom, that high mounted twin boom wing, it makes it a very complicated shape. But I can, I'm almost certain that we'll be able to build and paint this in sub-assemblies and bring it all together later. There might be a tiny little bit of, sanding and touching up of paint, but I'm fairly certain that this can be built and brought together after the majority of it's been painted. Interesting to see that's the late model prop blades there as well, which were a very different shape from the earlier OV10A blades and stuff. So yeah, and it's got the IR suppressors on the exhausts as well. So a full up OV10D plus Bronco, which is certainly going to make the likes of our friend Craig Sargent and people like that who like US Marine subjects very, very happy indeed. I can't wait. This is one that I was very, very excited for when it was announced earlier this year, and now we're starting to see renders and stuff come through. Just can't wait.
The only other 48 scale kit of a Bronco previously available was the old Hawk kit,
Testers,
which over the years has been reissued by Testers and Italeri, but we're talking about plastic prehistory there, really.
It's actually, to be fair to the model, I've had it with the Paragon conversion set for it as well. And the actual plastic, although it's not very accurate, it's actually a pretty, again, we're back to this, it might not be a very good replica, but it's actually a pretty nice kit, especially considering the age of it. It's just a shame that there's stuff like it's the booms are too far inboard and stuff like that. So it's got a lot of accuracy issues, but it's not a bad kit. No, it's not a bad model. Just sadly inaccurate. So well overdue for replacement in 48 scale, and ICM are the people to do it. I see Andy King there saying the only issues with ICM are decals and the soft plastic. I'll agree with the decals, although I haven't said that the decals on the drone I built recently were pretty much perfect, no issues whatsoever. I've never thought the plastic was soft on ICM kits. I think it's one of those, it's certainly massively different to how soft the plastic is in Airfix kits. It's far more, far better plastic than that. So I've never really thought that the plastic's overly soft. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly one that I'll be looking forward to and putting across the bench very, very soon after release. And I think that's due for release probably in the next month or two.
Yeah. Now, you see, it's an aeroplane I've always liked, and as a kid, I always remember looking in the Airfix catalogue and seeing their little 72nd scale Bronco and thinking, oh, if I ever see that in Woolworths and Wokingham, I'll have that. Nah. I did get hold of the Academy kit when that came out 20 odd years ago, and it's up in the attic. But I've always liked the look of I'll call it the Nogs one. I've always liked the look of the long nose ones.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably in 1986, I have the old wibbly wobbly effect here. 1986, I think it was the first copy of Sam I ever bought was the issue on the Bronco. It might have been May or June 1986 rather. And I do seem to remember in that issue, there was also a Mirage 3 two-seater conversion article. It might have been that one or the next one. It was around that same period.
Yeah, I remember. I can remember the Mirage conversion article because it was using
Graphy. Was it not Graphier? What was the name of that company? French company that did resin.
Oh, I thought it was a Falcon one.
Was it the Falcon one? I thought it was.
No, there was a Mirage 2000 twin seat conversion using the resin. Oh God, he's off.
There will now be a short intermission. Fill in for me, mate.
We've sent him off now. He's off to look through his massive collection of old magazines to find.
I can find it. It's right here.
It's right here.
I can hear you.
Have you found it yet? Are we there yet?
Hey, where don't make me drive down to Somerset, West Somerset, and start South Somerset. Oh, yes, it's somewhere in Somerset.
Oh dear. Yeah. So ICM doing a 48 scale Bronco is really good news. It's just that ICM keep getting better and better, as said there by Jim. But they keep getting the subject choices keep getting better and better as well. They're really doing fantastically off the wall stuff. So it just makes me. It's too early to say what's coming next year, but it makes me wonder what is coming next year. Hopefully they'll do the German target tug, the OV10B Bronco, with the jet engine on top as well, and the clear rear to the fuselage. Some of which are still flying. Actually, one of them is quite a regular flyer on the UK airshow circuit, which is always nice to see. Have you found it yet? Oh, here we go.
All right, look, it's 1980, October 96, September, August. June 1986. There we go. Right, as this was the first copy I ever bought. Actually, no, I got it wrong. In that issue, Alan Hall actually did a Mirage 2000.
Yeah, that's using a resin conversion, isn't it?
He did a Mirage 3 one as well, though.
Yeah, that was the Falcon conversion.
Right, this was
he painted it silver.
That's it.
This and that was in Graffier or something.
Maquettes Dowsy. Maquettes Dowsy. It was. I know it was a French company. You know, it's your actual French, Mr. Horn. Tell a lie, actually. Tell a whopping great big lie. The first copy of Sam I bought was actually that one. It was the May one. It was the Sabre Dog. Which...
Right, put it away. Come on, put it away.
No, it was that one. Trying to think which issue was the one with the... perhaps it was the Gannett issue that had the Mirage 3 in it. I can't remember. Well, this is suddenly gone spectacularly off course. Now we'll do that another time. But yeah, that was one of the first issues I got.
Step away from the magazine folder. Step away from the magazine folder.
Yeah, I know. Let's put it there. But long story short, I'd never built a Bronco, and it's one of those airplanes that I do find intensely fascinating.
Yes, I always remember the US Air Force Europe ones coming to air shows, especially in the later European One camouflage scheme. Those and A10s all seem to turn up together in the same color scheme. So yeah, I was expecting the OV10A to be the initial release, but some of the Vietnam schemes are fantastic as well. Some of the US Marine and US Navy Vietnam schemes are fantastic, and I suspect we'll be seeing an awful lot of those, especially from our cousins over the pond. We'll be doing a lot of Vietnam aircraft.
I do fancy, though, doing that long nose one. When I add it to the 101 million other projects that I'd like to do at some stage, I do fancy doing a Desert Storm one. I think they look. Whew. In the long nose, I quite like the 3-tone, the grey, green, black 3-tone. NASA operate them in those schemes, don't they?
Sorry,
NASA operate them in those schemes. Yeah.
And I also would think somebody will be along with the proper Nogs conversion at some point, and that 3-tone grey camouflage was really very nice indeed. That might be a nice subject. But as with all these things, you sort of have to say you've got to pick a subject and go with it, because you're very unlikely to build multiples.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to choose.
Let's just play catch up with everybody who's given up their Sunday tonight to tune in. Bless you all. Let's say hello to Darren McGuinness, Paul Milligan, Dougal McWougle, Ian Goldstraw, Andy King, Greg Woodbridge, Stephen Pryor, Anthony Bird, Brian Wilson. They have Jim Altegott. He says hello from Chicago, Illinois, USA. Long-time viewer. Our sympathies. First-time commenting. Jolly good show. Yes. Well, welcome aboard, Jim. The lifeboats are just over there. Ian Rusco, Mark Ryan, Jerry Doyle, Mark Ewing, David Mummery, Mike Williams, Juan Francisco Molinido, Stan C. Stan C says, have you missed the Great Wall Hobby P40 in 130 seconds ago? No, we are lining it up for a future show, Stan. It's just I don't know how to go in on that.
I think there's an awful lot to say about that, isn't there?
Yeah,
it looks
almost. What we need to do is we need to do like a P40 special show.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
There we go. Thanks for the idea, Stan.
It looks like such a phenomenal model, as most Great Wall Hobby stuff is these days.
Yeah.
That just shoehorning it into here as a also due for release at some point wouldn't really be doing it justice.
We will do a P40 special because we can then talk about our favourite P40 kits. That sounds like a good idea. I like the idea of that. There you go. Thanks for that suggestion, Stan. That was jolly good. Lee Suter, hello. Ophir Cohen, Andy Brennan, scrolls down. Christian Gerard, scrolls down. Vincent Murphy, Kat Lovedwell. She says, "Good evening, interesting people." Thank you, Kat. Wayne A. Beatty, Phil Prisk, scrolls down. Tim Cavalier. We've got Tim Double Bill here. Tim Cavalier and Tim Alex Maunder. Mike Williams, Mike again, Vincent Murphy, Dave Coward, Colin Strachan, hello, Callan, Luke I'm going to, at some stage, Luke, I'm going to say Luke Stanley Hewitt. It's Luke Slaney Hewitt. Scrolls down. James Chadwick, scrolls down. Scrolls down. Andy King, scrolls down. There's lots more watching. Pavel Krupovich, hello, Pavel.
Yeah, welcome in, Pavel. Glad you can make it. You're late. Where have you been? You're late.
Actually, Jim does make a point. He says, when will Mini Art make kits of pies, cakes, and various pastries? You know what? I'm actually going to jump ahead one in the schedule here because I'm going to say, well, they almost have at the moment, Jim, because one of their releases that's coming out very, very soon is vegetables and wooden crates. Now, this is just, I'm giggling because it's brilliant. This is absolutely pretty much timeless. You can use the individual vegetables or the ones in the crates or whatever. These will span anything from the modern day all the way back to the Napoleonic era or whatnot. What you seem to get is you get two types of potato there. I think one is a King Edward and the other looks like a Maris Piper of some sort. You get some onions, you get some beef tomatoes, some courgettes. They've got two types of carrots there. I think they're Autumn King and Nantes. You get some peppers, you get some turnips, you get some gourds. You get some gourds and some squashes, and they all come here. They all come in little bits and pieces. Some of them are molded in kind of like ready for the box. Some of them are molded individually. I've put the same picture up twice. There we go. You get the crates as well. This is just, this is Mini Art. I love it. This is utterly, utterly brilliant. And of course, you could stick some of these in the back of your Steyr RSO.
Yes, absolutely. As somebody who's just one that's just come from some village somewhere, and has relieved some of the villagers of their their allotment produce. Excellent. They're just
better looking veg than Morrison's have on the shelves at the moment. Yes, I will point out these are plastic; they are not edible. And Mike Williams says the interesting allotment show. Indeed. And Ray Borman, hello Ray. Ray says, but will they have Marmite scones? Well, I might be back in Exmouth next Monday, so I'll let you know. I might even buy some Marmite scones, and I'll let you know what they're like. Anthony Bird says 48 scale Steyr RSO is available here. I'll check out the link. Unfortunately, I can't click on it, but I think get the feeling that might be kind of like a medium run kit rather than a like a mainstream Italeri or Tamiya. I don't know. I will, like I say, I will go and check that link. But yeah, there you go. Vegetables. Next.
Yeah, no, I'm just steering away from the off-color jokes.
Good, let's keep it that way. Right, and our final scripted topic for tonight is another kit which is coming out very, very soon. We're back to ICM again. So it's kind of like I think between Zvezda, ICM, and Mini-Art, they're just three of the most dynamic kit companies out there at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they very much are. They very much are.
And coming from
you're
ICM,
ridiculously excited about this, aren't you?
It's the subject I never heard of and the kit I never really knew I needed. A bit like that Mini-Art Lands Bulldog tractor. The moment you see one, you think, I need that in my life. And it is, of course, the marvelous Lafley V15T World War II French artillery towing vehicle. Yeah, we've spoken about this before. This does look like what happens when a when a kind of like a Dodge 4x4 and a Jeep get together and make a Bantam Jeep or something.
Love each other very, very much.
Very much, yes. It suffice to say, I keep thinking this is like something from Thunderbirds or Terrorhawks or Ultraman. I keep expecting that little front section to kind of like be rocket propelled and shoot off, but no, it doesn't. This was apparently an attempt at making it even more versatile when it came to fording obstacles. It is a
it's just it's such an odd feature, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely bizarre looking, but all I know is I've got to build one because it's a great weathering subject. I just honestly, the Germans did capture some of these and use them. What they made of it is unrecorded as far as we know. But ICM appear to have done a very nice job. Again, these are CAD renders, but they seem to have done a very nice job in terms of detail. Again, you can pack the back of that thing out with some Mini-Art vegetables. You get some engine detail in there, so it's not curbside. You do get some engine detail, and you do get a fair amount of chassis detail on it as well, which is rather nice. Quite how much of that will get seen on the actual finished model? Yes, you can pose the engine open, I suppose, but and there's even another set of wheels in the middle. It's just.
I have to say, one of the things I think we should mention with regard to kits like this is that people like ICM are not only doing great subjects, but they are great value for money as well.
Yeah.
They really are. You get a lot of model for your outlay. And it's why ICM. I mean, I've liked ICM since their Spitfire Mark 9s in 2000, which is over 20 years ago now.
Yeah,
they were, they were starting to come through, but in the last 6 or 7 years, they have really, really gone to another level completely. And this, I won't lie and say I will build this, but it's such an intriguing subject. It's such an intriguing subject, isn't it?
Again, if one of our favourite Somerset retailers gets hold of one of these, then yep, I will throw money at you and take it off your hands, because it is, what a fabulous subject. I honestly don't know, apart from kind of like throwing eulogies at it. I just like it because it is so utterly ridiculous looking. But I'm looking at it and there's my kind of weathering brain is kicking in and thinking, you can have some fun with that. You can have some fun trying it.
That's going to be one of those French greens as well, isn't it? Which is quite a vibrant colour in its own right. The French sort of artillery green or whatever it was they used is actually quite a bright colour, isn't it? So it's not at all olive drab or anything, is it?
No, it makes 4BO green look rather dull. It's it is quite it's quite Thunderbird 2-ish, and it's a good way of putting it. But ICM, just thank you for bringing a subject into my life that I never knew existed, but now realise it is. This has got Christmas project written all over it.
Yeah, the subject you never realised you needed in your life, but now need badly.
Yes, absolutely. Honestly, brilliant. That's kind of like,
No, I'm a fan. I like I say. I mean, I can't lie and say I'll ever build it because there's so much, other stuff that would go ahead of it. But I love what ICM are doing these days, and I think it's a fantastic looking subject. And I kind of look at that and think, you know, I want to see Kovac do that. Can you imagine Martin doing that and doing a little vignette with it? It would just, you know.
I'm almost tempted to actually buy one and send it to him.
Yeah, here, build this. Yeah,
build this, Martin. Yeah, exactly. No, honestly, and also I've noticed on their social media that they're very close to releasing the first of their GMC trucks they're doing.
Right.
Which, again, you know, it's going to be a tie between whether they or Mini Art get theirs out first. But again, fabulous choice of subjects, which, you know, is a clever move by ICM and Mini Art, because these vehicles obviously have great export appeal, but they also have great, what the word I'm looking for now, local appeal as well.
Yes,
because they were used quite a lot within the former Soviet Union. So, you know, brilliant stuff. Again, I think it's a barometer of the rude health of the hobby at the moment in terms of releases, that you genuinely cannot keep up with what's going on.
Not a hope. It's absolutely. I mean, we're saying it's been a reasonably quiet week in terms of new announcements, but you know, we still find enough to go, oh my word, how is it possible that this is a subject that is being released as a mainstream kit? And again, you know, it points to exactly what you just said, the rude health of the industry.
This is the best one. Ray Borman said, "Looks like a Jeep crashed into the back of a clown car." Yes, exactly. And Tim Cavalier says, "Are those middle set of wheels for the clown car option?" It's it's just. And Craig Sargent makes he says Laughley. The phonetics just work. Yeah, I don't know if it's Lafly or Laughley or my pronunciation.
I'm tempted to go with Craig. We'll call it the Laughley just because it looks
Laughley. Yeah,
just because it looks so funny.
But
do you know, something that I'm really becoming quite interested in at the moment is, of all things, Sherman tanks.
You're only saying that because you know that I will probably get round to building with the new Sylvester one, the new 75 mil one.
Do you know what's prompted it? I know there's James Holland, you know, Al Murray's other half. He's just done a book on the Sherwood Foresters, which is due to release fairly shortly. You might have heard him talking about it on We Have Ways and stuff. And not only do I really, really want to get that book and read it, because the way he's been discussing it over the last year as he's writing it makes it seem like an incredible story that you know, needs to be told. But just the way he's describing the Sherwood Foresters with the 75 millimeter Shermans and the Fireflies, and the way they were operating together, and the way they were moving through different infantry units, and how they had to learn to work with all these different units each time, and stuff like that. It's just suddenly I'm really interested in Sherman tanks, and you know that I've always loved the Firefly. The Sherman Firefly is
the best Sherman variant of all time.
Yeah, it's the best Sherman variant of all time, and it's a variant that I love. But I'm also becoming really interested in the fact that obviously the Firefly was like a limited, you know, it was spread out through the units, because you couldn't just have an all Firefly unit. But he was just relating a story of you know, the way the 75 millimeter Shermans would surround a Tiger and just keep it busy until the Firefly could get into a killing position. And suddenly I'm just thinking, God, you know, the Firefly is my favorite, but I'd really like to do some of the 75 millimeter variants as well that the people at the Sherwood Foresters used. And I just think it's I've just become really interested in looking around at specifically 75 millimeter Shermans. I've got the Ryefield Firefly to build, but it would be nice to do it next to a a 75 millimeter to show, just show the difference between the two, and the fact that these, they were like not a hunter killer team, but a distracting killer team, if you like. So yeah, some research needed, but I'd quite like to do a couple of Firefly Shermans like that.
Okay, we'll negotiate over the 75 millimeter one.
Well, no, because I think the new Zvezda one 76 millimeter, isn't it?
It's 76 millimeter. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So I mean, it's not so just to head you off at the pass that I'm trying to angle in on, move in on your territory. I've got a Firefly of my own, thank you very much, and I'm interested in 75 millimeter ones, not 76. So
okay, fair enough. All right. Well, that's not. I
was expressing a genuine interest, and you just decided that I had an ulterior motive, didn't you?
Look, I've known you for nearly 25 years now, so yeah, frankly.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. I actually, James Milne does mention Matchbox Firefly. Indeed, that's what started it for me as a kid, and
going over the bridge, wasn't it?
I just think that the balance of the Sherman Firefly and the profile and everything, and it's like we went to the Americans. It's a good tank, but you know what? We'll just improve it a little bit. And I just think it looks, Sherman Firefly is my favourite variant. It just looks like a fabulous, it looks like a fabulously efficient tank. Guess what? It was.
Pavel says you need the Asuka kit, but I've got the Ryefield model, I think it is. So
does he mean that or Asuka kit for the 75 mil one?
I don't know.
Who does a 75 mil Sherman? Put it out there, folks. Who does a 75 mil Sherman?
75 millimeter, aren't they? But I will defer to Pavel here because he's going to know. He knows tanky stuff.
Hang about 75 mil. That's just the bog standard one, isn't it?
That's just the bog standard. There we go. 75. Thank you, Pavel. I will do some research then and look to which one I need to get.
Okay.
So thanks, Pavel. I'll look at that. But it'd be a nice little pair if I can get. Hopefully, if that book from James Holland has got some really good reference material in it as well as telling the story, it'd be nice to do, a representative pair, if you like, of vehicles from the Sherwood Foresters. It'd be really nice. So.
Jim Aldercott throws it out there. He says, "Is there a recent kit of a Pacific War Sherman, late war version? I mean, I tell you what, we'll throw that out there to the audience. If you can answer Jim's question, then that would be fantastic. If you don't mind, we'd really appreciate that.
Because I know what a Sherman looks like, and I know what a Firefly looks like, but I'm not terribly.
They are a real minefield, if you'll pardon the pun, when it comes to the combination of engine decks and glassy plates and all that kind of stuff. It's like
throw in Canadian Grizzlies and all this sort of stuff, and it just becomes a real, Then you start going post-war and looking at what the Israelis did with the Sherman. Oh my Lord, the M51 Isherman and stuff like that are just they're barely recognizable anymore, but all fantastic, still fantastic vehicles. I mean, it's no surprise that as we were discussing the other day, some people made almost a singular hobby out of building Phantoms. Some modelers have made a singular hobby out of Shermans, because you will never ever run out of variants and modifications to the Sherman. So
I've now made two 35th scale Shermans. I made the Fury, the Issylary Fury release about 4 or 5 years ago, which now sits in the Tank Museum. He said, name dropping, and I've built the obviously the Zvezda one for last year, which is what I call just a proper Sherman, proper one. But I still don't think I will have built a proper Sherman until I actually build a Tamiya 35th scale Sherman, and I'll feel I've done it. Now I've actually done it. So I've built 3.
And they've released an awful lot of Shermans over the years, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they've released the Asuka kit of the Firefly, haven't they?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
That's been released in a Tamiya boxing. Yes, I think Shermans, there's a lot to be said about Shermans, and you'd certainly never run out of subjects to model if you want to build a Sherman. So anyway, I thought I'd throw that in there just to say that's been capturing my interest this year, because I've got a feeling that book is going to be a fantastic, a fantastic if somewhat sobering story. Because I don't think quite a lot of the time we don't appreciate what the loss rate was in these units. They were just saying last week that by sort of week 5 or 6 after D-Day, none of the original officers were left in the Sherwood Foresters. They'd all been replaced at least once, because not all killed, but all a lot of them injured and out of the battle. So they were the churn of people through these units was just incredible, and it makes for a very, very sobering story, but one that stands telling very much so. So
well, we've managed to get through the news items tonight. We've managed to detour. I've managed to get my box of scale aircraft modelings out. I'm still trying to work out which issue that was with the Mirage 3 conversion. I get the feeling it's the one with the Wildcat, which would have been
possibly Terrence Marion's Wildcat, the F4.
Yeah, and I get that. Was it? No. I'm talking about the one that was the aircraft in feature. Mike keeps aircraft in feature, aircraft in detail. And I get the feeling that's over in the cabinet there in the Wildcat folder, and I'm not going to go and get it. So you'll be delighted to know. So, well, that's a beautifully crisp ding. Any other business?
No other business. I won't be available Wednesday.
Fair enough.
Late. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time. Just letting you know.
That's jolly good. Right, okay. Well, in that case, then we won't do the P40 special midweek. Right, any other business? Yeah, okay. Well, actually, we can talk about this. We are still working out dates for another festival of modelling. Spencer is making noises about, can we shift it to the week before? And I am starting to gravitate towards not doing it the same weekend as Scale Model World. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Drew.
I mean, November's pretty much an open month for me, so I can roll with whatever people decide is best. It's fine with me whenever we decide to.
Some people, it was kind of like a bit of a split opinion, really. Some people weren't that bothered that it would be going on with Scale Model World, and said it would be great because it kind of like makes us feel we're taking part in something on the same weekend, even if we're not actually there. Other people were very much of the opinion that, well, we'd like to do both, do Scale Model World and do the festival.
The people who said, well, we're going to Scale Model World, but we'd also like to be, like to participate in the festival. I thought that was very nice. Thank you very much that you consider it. You consider our little corner of the internet sort of worthy of not being done at the same time, so that people can participate in both. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you. So we are kind of veering towards now perhaps doing it the weekend before, but we're not going to announce any dates until we get until we get people saying yes, can absolutely do it. Yep. Then we'll announce the date. So at the moment, might be now the actual weekend before, which I think checks RSPB Robin calendar here, which is that's December. That is the weekend of the 6th and the 7th. So we probably won't do Friday the 5th. We'll just go straight into the weekend on the 6th and the 7th and do it that way. But then what we might do is a festival of modelling kind of extra the next weekend by seeing if we can do some live link-ups to people actually at Telford. Ooh.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
That would be fun.
Nice. So we need to start bullying people into doing slots.
Yeah, trust me, I have been going through my my black book here to see whose names, who's been naughty and who's been nice, and calling in the favours. favors. So, who wants a jar of my my Christmas chutney at the end of the year? Oh, yes, please. Gonna have to do some favors.
I mean, I'm thinking, I mean, I know of at least one phenomenal scratch builder who's not a million miles away, who I think we should be having words with. I'll discuss that with you afterwards.
Excellent. Yeah, that's right. No, so we will. I will be, I will be trading chutney for people coming on the show. Frankly, so. I'm a brute. But anyway. And we got Craig Sargent says he know a guy who might be keen to talk about some new kit sets from Down Under. Yep.
Oh, he said kit set again. Proper Kiwi kit sets.
Oh, is he a Kiwi? Oh, right, okay.
Oh, yeah, apparently. Yeah, apparently.
Right, okay. And Steve Moores as well. Yeah, fantastic. I mean, we've got, we are putting together bits and pieces, but like I say, until we get the date. No, anyway. So it is looking like the weekend of the 6th and the 7th. So
yeah, Craig, you might live to regret that. Just saying.
What's he saying? Anybody who is going want to meet up? No.
But we're not going. So
we're not going. No, we're not going. No, we'll be doing our own little thing with models and cakes and stuff. Anyway, right. That'll do for tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who turned up for the Sunday service. Bless you all. So we'll be back on Wednesday. Sans Mr. Manton here, who'll be working.
I'll be working, and then I'm off up north for a few days on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, back Sunday. So I should be available Sunday evening. I think I will be back sort of Sunday, early hours of Sunday morning from that there Manchester place. So,
well, this is the Czech's calendar. This is the 18th and 19th, isn't it? Because next Sunday, if I've got an invite to do the We Have Ways Fest to do a modelling demo there, but obviously that's all kind of contingent upon how lateral flow tests go during the week, and yada 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 yada. So it could be if I do the show, there might not be a Sunday show because I'll probably be travelling back from Milton Keynes. But it's completely fluid at the moment because as you know, in this situation is, to quote Stingray, anything can happen in the next half hour, and it can just your plans can suddenly be changed upon the sudden appearance of two little red lines on a lateral flow test. So we'll keep it quiet. Anyway, so we'll certainly see you all Wednesday. I know that for sure. So until then, thank you for joining. Thank you to ICM for that. Marvelous.
Yes, thank you to ICM for everything they've done for us this week.
Yes, absolutely. We'll be back on Wednesday. So until then, as always, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and we'll see you very soon. Bye for now.
Take care.